Police searches across the city as the hunt for a missing man continues. Plus, a Second World War veteran denied coverage.
That is totally unacceptable.
A daughter's fight to transfer her 100-year-old father from BC to Windsor.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us both on CTV Windsor and AM 800. We're following developing news this hour. Neighbors in Remington Park tell CTV News they heard what sounds like gunshots as police flood the area.
By the time I got out of my vehicle, which is only 2 blocks away from the intersection, the cops were telling me to get in my house and go in the basement, and that's when I heard 4 to 6 shots.
Windsor police have not confirmed any gunfire, but say they are conducting an active investigation in the 700 block of Alexandrine Street. Investigators asking people to avoid the area, including nearby streets like Capital, Vanier, Edinburgh, Stanley, and Charlotte. CTV News will continue to follow this developing story with the latest updates shared to our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. We will also have more details tonight at 11 o'clock on our only late local newscast. One neighbor we spoke with says he heard the gunshots around 3 p.m.
The situation's over on Alexandrine, and then about 4 minutes after the initial shots, we heard a single shot.
Meantime, the search continues for a missing Windsor man who hasn't been seen in over 1 month. For the latest on where police are focusing their efforts today, we're joined by CTV's Chris Campbell in the newsroom tonight. Chris.
Yes, Stephanie, Windsor police are once again asking the public for help as they continue to search for 37-year-old David Pavao. Officers spent the day combing through 2 different areas of the city. Windsor police say they were searching around 675 Tecumseh Road West, as well as the area of Grand Maris Road West and Huron Church Road. They would not say what led them to these spots, but say there is no threat to public safety. Residents are asked to avoid those areas until further notice. Earlier this month, members of the Public Order Unit searched ditches along Road 11 and Albuna Town Line. Pavao was last seen August 14th in the 1000 block of Brock Street in Windsor's West End. Police say it's unusual for him to go this long without contacting his family. Pavao is described as black with a light complexion, about 5'9", with a medium build and tattoos on both arms. Anyone with information is urged to call Windsor Police or Crime Stoppers. Now, police declined to speak on camera today, but told CTV News when more information becomes available and appropriate to share, they will provide an update, and that they'll continue their search until further notice. Stephanie?
Okay, Chris Campbell tonight. Thank you for this. And there's another case Windsor police want your help with. They're trying to track down a suspect after a knife-point robbery. He's described as a Middle Eastern man in his early 20s with slim build, dark hair, and he was wearing an Adidas jersey, black pants, and glasses. Police say he walked into a convenience store on Wyandotte Street East Saturday night demanding money and pulled a knife when the employee refused. The suspect took off empty-handed and no one was hurt. Police are asking anyone with information to contact the Major Crimes Unit or Crime Stoppers. Also tonight, 2 men from Windsor have been arrested in a violent carjacking in Brampton. This was back in May. 20-year-old Parteek Idahan and 22-year-old Simranjeet Singh are charged with attempted murder, aggravated assault, and robbery. Police say a man was stabbed in the throat during a test drive after arranging a meeting to sell his car through Facebook Marketplace. The victim suffered serious injuries. The vehicle was recovered in Windsor the next day. A cyclist is dead after a late-night collision in Kingsville. Just after 11 o'clock Wednesday night, emergency crews rushed to County Road 20 west of McCain-Side Road. Police say a 43-year-old cyclist was struck by a passenger vehicle and pronounced dead at the scene. The driver was not hurt. Thursday morning, a stretch of the 2-lane road remained closed with cruisers, debris, and a crumpled bicycle marking the scene. The road has since reopened. Anyone with information is asked to call OPP or Crime Stoppers. To the courts now, and a warning: the content of the next two stories will be upsetting to some viewers and listeners, both while separate incidents deal with allegations of intimate partner violence. In one Superior Courtroom today, Rwandan refugee has been sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 14 years. 33-year-old Ramadan Nizigai Irmana pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in April of this year. He has admitted to stabbing his wife with a 10-inch knife during a family party in October of 2021. Windsor police arrested him just minutes after the attack. Today in court, Justice Maria Garcia said his actions showed planning and deliberation because he biked to where his estranged wife was armed with a knife, and he attacked her in front of family and friends. He was also under a court order to stay away from his wife at the time. He will likely be deported once he serves his sentence. Meantime, in a courtroom across the hall, the trial of a Michigan man accused of killing a Windsor woman continues. And again, we want to warn our viewers about the sensitivity of this story. Michelle Molesky joining us now with this court story tonight. Michelle.
Yeah, Stefanie, today is day 3 of the murder trial of Brian Marbury. The 47-year-old from Michigan has pleaded not guilty in the death of his wife. Sarah Boulay was just 36 years old when she was killed in late May 2023. Her body was found a week later in a field behind a Huron Church Road hotel. Boulay's medical records were given to the jury today. In July 2022, a diagnostic imaging report showed she had 2 cracked ribs. She told the technician it was from a fall, but the jury has learned Boulay's mother believes she had been assaulted by Brian Marbury. Boulay was referred for a psychological consult, and she told the doctor 3 months after the x-ray she was in fact in an abusive relationship. The jury has also learned today Marbury accused Boulay of assault in 2020. Windsor police ultimately laid a charge against her. That charge ended up being withdrawn after Boulay agreed to participate in some court-ordered programming. Marbury also went through court-ordered anger management treatment in 2021. The other new evidence revealed today: Boulay was in the process of divorcing Marbury in 2022, around the time of the injuries to her ribs. A ride-sharing driver also testified today he was the last person other than Marbury to see Boulay alive. He told the jury he picked Boulay up at Hiatus House and drove her over to a motel on Huron Church Road. The driver said, quote, "She seemed to be happy looking out the window with a smile on her face." This trial will continue tomorrow. Stefanie.
Okay, Michelle Molesky, thank you for this tonight. And in the ongoing inquest into the overdose death of an inmate at Windsor's Southwest Detention Center, we're learning about new tools in use behind bars. Corrections officers now have improved body scanning technology. The details were revealed today during the inquest into the death of 21-year-old Nathaniel Krug. He died after consuming a lethal amount of fentanyl and a drug used to treat insomnia in his cell at the jail. An official with the Ministry of Solicitor General told the jury today the Southwest Detention got a software upgrade just last week to its body scanning technology. The device is used to see if inmates are hiding contraband or weapons or inside of their bodies. After a pilot project at 4 jails, the software upgrade is being implemented at all jail scanners because it reveals improved clarity of imaging for corrections officers to find contraband. The inquest will continue on Friday. In other news, Erie Shores Healthcare is stepping up support for those struggling with addiction and mental health in Leamington. Until now, an addictions worker was only available at the hospital once a week. Starting this month, services are offered 5 days a week, covering assessments, counseling, harm reduction, and referrals to programs within the community. Hospital officials say the expansion is a direct response to rising substance-related harms across Windsor, Essex. It's available to patients in the emergency department and those admitted to hospital. And it's part of a partnership with Hotel Dieu Grace Healthcare, the Canadian Mental Health Association, and the Windsor Essex Community Health Center. A 100-year-old Second World War II veteran left stranded. A Windsor woman says her elderly father got sick on vacation and no one, not even Veterans Affairs Canada, will help bring him home. Tonight, she's refusing to take no for an answer.
That is totally unacceptable.
Maureen Rudovich's 100-year-old father, William Shea, a World War II veteran from Harrow, lay thousands of miles from home in a Chilliwack, BC hospital bed. She says after a few days of returning from an Alaskan cruise, he became ill and was rushed by ambulance to the emergency room, where he was diagnosed by doctors with a bladder infection, pneumonia in one lung, and problems with his kidneys.
Oh, it's frustrating. It's terrible.
Hospital officials told Rudowich Shea's health had improved, but he could not take a commercial flight because of immobility and that an air ambulance was the only option. Hospital officials received quotes ranging from around $60,000 to $72,000. She submitted a claim to Veterans Affairs Canada seeking coverage for an air ambulance but was denied.
I kept hearing no, 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 but I kept calling. And then finally, last Wednesday, I was told, yes, he is covered with this POC2 coverage. Submit the quote, which we did, and we found out 2 days ago it was denied. He's 100 years old, a World War II veteran.
Rudowich was told the denial letter was sent to Shea's home address in Harrow and that he had 60 days to appeal it. She says it's impossible for him to appeal as he is in a hospital in a different province. In a statement sent to AM 800, officials say Veterans Affairs Canada is always concerned to learn about the health and well-being of a Second World War veteran. However, we cannot comment on individuals due to the Privacy Act.
I did ask the question, what if I flew out there, put him in a wheelchair, and bring him home? They said he wouldn't be able to sit up that long, and we'd have to transfer in Pearson. There's no one-way flight to Windsor.
But doctors told her that would not be possible due to his mobility issues. An official with MPP Chris Lewis's office tells AM 800 they are working to see what can be done to assist Shea. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now for a first look at the weather from the top of the Bell building tonight, where Gary, obviously absolutely beautiful up there.
It is a gorgeous evening. Good evening, Stephanie. Good evening, folks. We're talking about temperatures soaring into the low 30s today. Ridge of high pressure still keeping any showers at bay, at least for now. There's a slight risk of some rain a little bit later, say around 8, 9, 10 p.m., crossing over from northern Michigan right through the heart of Detroit, might even clip us here in Windsor, Essex. But probabilities of rainfall over the next 2 days, Friday and Saturday, are relatively low. And temperatures will be in the 20s. We'll see if we carry this warm and above seasonal trend into the weekend and beyond. My full forecast has the answers to all your questions regarding that.
A serious safety breach at Essex Terminal Railway has led to major changes after a worker was seriously hurt on the job that happened earlier this year. The company is now under pressure to clean up its practices. CTV's Sanjay Maru has the details on this tonight.
Stephanie, this all stems from an incident on February 16th. According to the Transportation Safety Board, a worker at Ojibway Yard in Windsor was clearing snow from a rail switch when he was struck by a rolling train car. The TSB says 2 rail cars were kicked down the track, moving at about 5 kilometers an hour. Now, kicking is a common practice, pushing cars and then letting them roll on their own to get them where they need to be. The worker had a gas-powered leaf blower on his back, and without a radio, he could not hear the conductor's warning. He suffered serious injuries. The TSB report says the worker did meet with the train crew that morning, but those job briefings did not cover hazards, where the cars would be moving or where the worker would be during those moves. Investigators also note maintenance staff usually do not work in the yard at the same time as train crews, but on this day they were. And while railway rules do require protections during track work, snow clearing from switches was not specifically included. Now, since the incident, the TSB says Essex Terminal Railway has made changes. Maintenance workers now have radios. Tracks must be locked and flagged before snow clearing, and train crews must stop switching until maintenance staff are finished and give the all clear. The company has also barred crews and maintenance workers from operating in the rail yard at the same time. The Transportation Safety Board says these steps are meant to increase awareness and improve communication, all to prevent a serious accident like this from happening again. Stefanie.
Okay, Sanjay, Maru tonight. Thank you for this. Also, a tentative deal has been reached for special constables at the University of Windsor. Unifor Local 444 announcing this afternoon that it reached a tentative agreement with the university. The deal covers 26 special constables working on campus. Ratification meeting details are still being finalized, but the union says wages and contract language has been the main sticking points during negotiations. Windsor Police Services Board has a new member, and he says he's ready to represent the voices of this community.
I will not disclose any information obtained by me in the course of my duties as a board member with the Windsor Police Service Board, except as I may be authorized or required by law.
Former Windsor Essex Chamber of Commerce President Rakesh Naidu has been sworn in as the latest member of the board. With his appointment, he becomes the only person of color on the 7-member panel. The board is currently overseeing the search for a new police chief, with current chief Jason Belair set to retire later this year. A community meeting held on the matter of Peche Island this week, with residents fighting to preserve the park, but that effort could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. CTV's Bellacicco explains why.
It's just a matter of getting it cleared.
Back in July, CTV News showed you the blocked-off water flow beneath a legacy bridge on Peche Island. Howard Weeks, a leading advocate for the island, feels Peche is being choked and wants the canal cleared. He organized a meeting earlier this week with major stakeholders like the city and IRCA.
I wanted them basically to understand, and I think they do, that the island needs to be replenished.
The island is designated as a park, but many, like Weeks, are concerned about the natural side.
If we were to fully naturalize the park, that would limit the amount of people that could go into the park and have activities on the park, which I think might be an error in this case. What we need to do is have people appreciate the park.
In order to do that, Weeks feels that the wildlife and vegetation on the island needs to be addressed.
There was a suggestion from a couple of the experts that we could do something very, very simple.
A cost of $150,000 was thrown out as a solution to clear out the canal. Now, to fully avoid the canal from blocking again, which it has done throughout the years according to IRCA, a rock wall would need to be created to divert the flow of material. So the cost of this diversion rock wall is $250,000. Add to that $150,000 to open up the canal, and that's a total of $400,000 to fix the island, if that's the will of the city and the people.
The city can, through IRCA, apply for grants from the provincial and federal level, and that's one way of obtaining the money.
IRCA CEO Tim Burney says what's happening on the island is part of a correction to the natural system of the island that was disrupted over 100 years ago. Remediation would have to account for endangered species, marine environment, and more.
Credit goes to those, the general public raising the alert and raising their concern. And, we all collectively need to react to that and respond accordingly.
Weeks is hoping to bring the issue to council in the near future. Bob Bellacicco, CTV News.
A special 55-year reunion is set for Saturday in LaSalle with some serious 70s vibes.
We went all the way to the Supreme Court, and after a long, hard fight, we ended up getting a site, and the school ground was broke in 1973.
Sandwich Secondary officially opened up on Malden Road in 1975, and this weekend an alumni reunion is being held for those who attended in that decade. On Saturday between 1 and 4 p.m. there will be an open house at Sandwich, followed by a celebration at the Fort Fun Center at 6 o'clock. Proceeds from the event will be donated to the LaSalle Community Fund.
We want to partner with them to establish a scholarship or more with Sandwich Secondary, which is one of their existing goals. We want to leave a legacy. We just don't want to have a reunion and then not sustain it over time.
Now, this got us wondering, have you ever attended a high school reunion? That's our question of the day. Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked, should establishments be legally responsible for the actions of drivers who get behind the wheel intoxicated? More than 600 people voted, 58% say no. Still ahead on Windsor's news leader, an offer to send troops into Detroit. Why city leaders aren't having it.
The only conclusion is that it's to make profit and it's to take advantage of vulnerable consumers.
Those maple leaves on grocery shelves may not be telling the whole story. Why some Product of Canada labels are facing a class action lawsuit. And tomorrow, Windsor Central Library is on the move again, and you'll have a say in where it lands next. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. Some divas rolling up their sleeves for a good cause this afternoon. The Do Good Divas joining Habitat for Humanity, Windsor, Essex, to put some finishing touches on a future Habitat home.
Having that roof over your head is so important to a person's overall well-being that it hits all the markers.
Volunteers came out to a Bruce Avenue house originally built in 2005 as part of the Jimmy Carter Work Project. This time it was about adding warmth, planting flowers to welcome single mom Lisa and her daughter Zoe, who'll move in soon. A plaque honoring the 2024 event sponsors was also unveiled, now displayed at the Habitat Restore. And with next year's fundraiser around the corner, supporters are being asked to donate handbags, helping Habitat build more affordable homes across our region. On the other side of the river, Vice President J.D. Vance is making headlines with a message for Michigan's governor. During a stop in Howell, Vance said if Governor Gretchen Whitmer asks, he's ready to send in the National Guard into Detroit to deal with what he's called serious crime problems. But community leaders say it would do more harm than good. City spokesperson notes violent crime is already at record lows, with homicides, shootings, and carjackings all down again this year. Advocates add that the real solution is more funding for preventative programs, not a military presence. Also tonight, a Michigan man walked out of prison yesterday morning after serving 60 years in jail for a murder he did not commit. As NBC's Courtney Bennett reports, he has another inmate to thank.
Michael Thompson and William Hunt met in prison. When Thompson was released, he made a promise to Hunt that he'd be back for him. And this morning, he made good on that promise. I asked Thompson what it was like watching Hunt leave after 6 decades. He got choked up.
When you talk about stuff like this, I got to relive it again. It ain't easy. It's definitely not easy for him to do 60 years.
William Hunt was convicted of first-degree murder in Wayne County in 1967. He and his brother Gerald robbed a store. His brother shot and killed the cashier, but Hunt wouldn't testify against his brother, leaving him with a life sentence. As Ola Horn, Hunt's sister, says, it was devastating.
Especially when he wasn't the one that committed the crime. So that was horrible. And for it to take so long.
There were 17 kids in the Hunt family. Ola says their parents didn't have enough money to fight for Hunt, but they never gave up on him. In the 60s, their mother would cook meals on Family Day and bring it to Hunt.
That's my brother. We grew up to love each other and to do what we could, and we have lost both parents. So somebody's got to pick up the pieces.
Gerald, the one who pulled the trigger, died of throat cancer in prison in 1980. Meanwhile, Hunt waited and waited for his moment of freedom.
I feel like a breath of fresh air.
Thompson says Hunt also needs support right now.
You talking about a person that got lost in lost in the system. You know, he gonna need a lot of help.
He was in his 20s when he began his sentence. Now 80 years old, Hunt is looking forward to helping other people, including the youth. For his family, they are happy he's out.
His birthday is not January the 3rd anymore, it's September the 16th. So that's where we leave it at. This is his Freedom Day, and this is his new birthday.
Canada's main stock index was up on strength in the technology sector. In Toronto, the TSX gained 132 points. In New York, the Dow added 124, the Nasdaq up 209. The Canadian dollar is down 1/5 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold lost almost $40 an ounce and oil dropped at 44 cents a barrel. Coming up on Windsor's News Leader, another rough day for the Tigers as Cleveland keeps clawing closer. What this means for Detroit's division dreams.
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thanks to Sherry Berger for sending this in. Do you have a weather image that could be our next snapshot? Text it to 10400.
Feeling like mid-summer out there earlier today. Gary joins us again for a full forecast. Gary.
Stefanie, I said temperatures could get very close to 30 degrees. Indeed, we are at that mark, or have been, across southwestern Ontario for parts of the afternoon. It did feel more like July than mid-September, no doubt. Reached a high so far, unofficially, and certainly not a record, but very high. 31.1 degrees Celsius. Our average high is about 9 degrees cooler. 13 degrees our low this morning before dawn. Our average high is closer to 12. So on the lower ends, we are seasonal, but during the daytime, we are warm, and that has been a continuation of this stream of warm weather and warm temperatures in the region for the last week and a half to 2 weeks. Medium is the rating for the air quality. It has deteriorated to some degree. Regional temperatures across the region from extreme southeastern Michigan into extreme southwestern Ontario. We are in the mid to upper 20s, low 30s, and will stay that way for an hour or so. The humidex, it feels like 36 and still warm enough to feel very much like the middle of the afternoon. 32 is the humidex reading in Chatham, Kent. Cooler across northern and northwestern Ontario. Thunder Bay's 17, Toronto's 29. We're holding at 30, 31. You get the idea. The prairies have certainly cooled off. The showers that we're seeing across upper Michigan, some embedded thunderstorms to go along with this disturbance, could clip us here in the next hour or two, but I'm not anticipating a great deal of rainfall from this situation. Take a look over the next 24 hours. We anticipate still that ridge of high pressure to keep things relatively quiet and clear. We are partly cloudy over the next few hours through to midnight, and tomorrow morning we're looking at some sunshine. The overnight temperature drops down to about 22 at midnight to technically start things off early tomorrow morning. Probably get down to 17 or 18 before dawn. That's mild to start Friday off. Fair weather and 24 tomorrow. Saturday, fair and 25. Sunday, increasing cloudiness, 24 possible showers. Cloudy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And keep the umbrella nearby. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in particular, showers are possible. That's a look at your weather.
Lifetime, brought to you by Safeguard Medical Alert Systems.
Fall is just around the corner, and that means the return of respiratory virus season. As cases of the common cold, flu, and COVID are expected to tick up, RSV also remains a risk with potentially serious consequences for the vulnerable populations. The province is expanding eligibility for various shots that protect people from the virus.
The nice news, and for anybody out there that's over 75 years old, this is big news, it is now covered for those individuals. It's free. So all they have to do is go to their primary care provider, family doctor, nurse practitioner, and we can give it to them. It's going to probably roll out around October, right before the season starts. If you're age 60 to 74, it's also covered if you live in a long-term care facility or retirement home, immunocompromised, if you're experiencing homelessness or you identify as First Nations, Inuit, Métis, you're also covered.
The vaccine is also available for other adults 60 and up who choose to pay out of pocket. The province also covers RSV immunization for infants up to 8 months of age entering their first RSV season and high-risk children up to 2 years old. Canadian grocery chains are under scrutiny, accused of pushing products claiming they're Canadian when actually they're not. As CTV's Pat Foran reports, a class action lawsuit is now in the works.
You see them all over grocery store aisles and shelves, maple leaves, made in Canada labels, or signage urging you to buy Canadian. Dave, a Toronto shopper who asked us to hide his identity as he searches for misleading advertising, just noticed 2 questionable products.
We saw that a bag of onions were mislabeled and the green beans were also mislabeled.
Dave found green beans for sale marked as a product of Canada, but on closer inspection on the bag it says product of Guatemala. In another case, he saw a bag of red onions for sale, also sold as a product of Canada. Not the case. On the bag, it says product of Egypt.
We've seen many cases where the maple leaf was used to inflate prices, and frankly, a lot of products were labeled in a way that it was actually quite misleading.
Following complaints, a Quebec law firm has filed a class action lawsuit against major grocery chains, including Provigo, Sobeys, Metro, and Walmart.
This is actually false representation or false advertising.
Lawyer Joey Zucron says grocers are using false advertising to take advantage of consumers who want to support Canadian products.
The only conclusion is that it's to make profit and it's to take advantage of vulnerable consumers who are at a disadvantage vis-a-vis the information that the grocer has.
The class action seeks compensation for customers. Sylvain Charlebois says earlier in the year there was labeling confusion and adjustments required time, but he says by now mislabeling should be considered unacceptable.
There's just zero tolerance for this now.
Dave says he plans to keep looking for maple washing errors because he wants to support Canadian producers.
We personally want to support these local Canadian farmers. I want to make sure that the product I'm getting is actually from Canada.
The class action has been filed, but has not yet been authorized in court. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Well, Johnny, what are we all dressed up for today?
We are getting schnitzeled at Oktoberfest.
All the details coming up soon.
Comedian Joe Coy and friends are coming to Caesars Windsor for a rousing night of stand-up Saturday, November 8th. Enter online at ctvwindsor.ca for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Joe Coy and friends at Caesars Windsor, plus a $200 gift card.
5K a day is back on 93.9. Virgin Radio. Listen to Hannah and Johnny in the morning for your chance to win $5,000.
Every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
Turning now to our new weekly segment, What's Up YQG, with Johnny Parks from our sister station Virgin Radio, and of course our Melanie Kentner on location again, this time dressed up for the occasion.
Yeah, we're getting into the spirit of Oktoberfest here at the Fogelar Furlan Club. Johnny, what do you think about these outfits?
I think that hat suits you. I think you should wear it all the time from now on. Thank you, Nick, for hooking us up with all the Oktoberfest vibes. The president of the Teutonia Club. Tell us a little bit about this event.
Well, it is the original and longest running Oktoberfest in Windsor. We're holding it this Saturday on the 20th at 5 p.m. Doors open to the public, and we're looking forward to just a wonderful time. German music, German food, and of course, German beer.
What are some of your favorite parts about it?
Well, outside of our outstanding food that everybody comes to taste, it's got to be the music and the dancing of our youth group. They do a fantastic job every year, and it's just the friendship and vibes you get from the people of Windsor.
Sounds amazing.
Can't wait to get schnitzeled.
And there is another beer-themed event this weekend in McGregor.
Yeah, the 14th annual Mug Run and Beer Fest at Coan Park. That's at 3 o'clock on Saturday.
Something else for sport fans, the Spitfires are back.
Yeah, go Spits, go. Home opener against London. That's at 7:05 at the WFCU Center, but they have a pregame party going on at 4:30.
And on Sunday, Open Streets returns.
Yeah, I'll be riding my bike. I'm assuming you will be running, as you always are.
I will be running, but let's stick to dancing for now. I want to see some more German dancing.
Okay, I'm going to audition now to play, maybe on Saturday. Let's go. Did yours work?
Hey, might need a little work, but the dancing is amazing. Thanks, guys, as that's What's Up, YTG.
Widespread outrage over what's being called an assault on free speech after late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel was pulled off the air indefinitely. ABC denounced for yanking Kimmel's show because of comments around the killing of Charlie Kirk, while the U.S. president calls for more hosts to be canned. CTV's Heather Wright on the fallout and the politics at play.
The controversy all stems from comments late-night host Jimmy Kimmel made on his show on Monday.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Kimmel went on to criticize Donald Trump's mourning of Kirk, pointing to the president's answer when asked how he was holding up.
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House.
Kimmel's comments were slammed by many on the right, including the chair of the Federal Communications Commission, who issued an unsubtle threat to ABC and its affiliates, implying broadcast licenses could be at risk if they did not take action against Kimmel. Nexstar, an ABC affiliate that is trying to merge with another group and will need FCC approval, was the first to yank Kimmel. ABC followed suit shortly after.
Trump and his allies seem to want to shut down speech that they don't like to hear.
ABC is not the first to acquiesce to pressure from the White House. CBS settled a lawsuit over a 60 Minutes interview that coincided with a merger between its parent company Paramount and Skydance. CBS has also announced plans to cancel The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, a move the network says was due to costs. Today, Trump downplayed freedom of speech concerns, calling Kimmel's ouster a business decision.
You can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.
But on social media, Trump suggested other late-night hosts should be next. That leaves Jimmy and Seth two total losers, referring to The Tonight Show's Jimmy Fallon and late-night host Seth Meyers. Do it, NBC. In Ottawa, the Bloc Québécois leader declined to directly weigh in on the controversy, but paraphrased the philosopher Voltaire.
I profoundly disagree with what you say, but I will fight to the end for you to have the right to say it.
And while Jimmy Kimmel has not been officially fired, it's not clear if he will ever return to his show.
Heather Wright, CTV News.
Tough day for the Tigers, losing to Cleveland 3-1. This after being shut out at Comerica Park last night 4-0, marking the Tigers' 10th shutout loss of the season. And after today's game, Cleveland's now won 7 straight, closing the gap in this division. The Tigers have dropped 14 of their last 20 and still need a combination of 7 wins and Guardian losses to lock up the Central. Now, how do you feel about the Tigers or any of the other stories we've talked about tonight? Send us your comments, questions, or story ideas text us at 10400.
Would you text your ex for $10,000? 89X is back. Listen for the keywords and text your ex. It's never been more rewarding to get back with your ex. Only on Windsor's Alternative, 89X.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Join us on Sunday, October the 5th to unite with people in Canada who are dedicated to changing the future of breast cancer. Sign up to support all people in Canada impacted by breast cancer. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Kate Otterbein. And Kate, you have more for us on the veteran from our area currently stuck in BC.
Yes, 100-year-old Bill Shea was just 15 years old when he joined the Canadian military. That was in 1941. He later went on to serve as a tail gunner in the Royal Canadian Air Force in 1943. After his military service, he was a Windsor police officer. Just this past spring, Essex MPP Anthony Liardi presented Shea with the King Charles Coronation Medal. The medal recognizes someone's significant contribution to Canada. You can read more online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And a mother and son also struck big on a scratch ticket.
That's right. Daniel and Mary Golab of Windsor won the top prize of $77,777 on the instant 777 ticket. Now, that's a lot of sevens. The pair has been playing the lottery together for over 10 years and take turns each scratching half the ticket. Daniel made a joke when picking tickets, saying that one was a winner, pointing to a ticket that he ended up taking home. Luck was clearly on their side that day. The winning ticket was bought at Lynn's Variety in Amherstburg. You can read their full reaction on our website. And in our social spotlight tonight, this amazing 8-year-old girl has become the youngest person to ever swim across the Halifax Harbor.
I swam across the Halifax Harbor a couple weeks ago, and it was really fun. I was the youngest person to ever do it, and swimming is my favorite sport to do.
I've swam in Halifax Harbor 5 times now for the United Way of Halifax. The last swim was probably the most memorable one for me because this is the first time in my life that I had my daughter follow me. It was truly amazing.
I was scared whenever I made it to the dock waiting, and I was really nervous on the boats, and it's like, I can't quit now because I'm on the boat. So I did it.
Ava clearly has a great role model in her dad, teaching her to push herself for a good cause. Ava said the safety boats made big waves sometimes and the water got rough, but it wasn't too hard to do. She managed to swim across the harbor in a total of 32 minutes. Now that's pretty impressive. In order to qualify, she had to be able to swim at least 1,500 meters in 40 minutes and raise at least $150 for the United Way.
Incredible. As we know, learning how to swim so essential. She has a bright future in front of her, that's for sure. Maybe the Olympics one day, who knows?
I was just going to say that. She's clearly a great swimmer.
Okay, so Kate, how can our viewers submit a video for our trending segment?
You can email it to newsnow@bellmedia.ca, or if you prefer to text, you can send it to 10400.
It is just providing a little bit of comfort, one bag at a time.
Still ahead, what can 450 empty milk bags turn into? You might be surprised by the answer. Gorgeous day, fair temperatures ahead.
Yes, and by fair, I mean mixture of sun and cloud, not likely to see any rain, Stefanie, in the next 24 hours. And temperatures in the mid-20s, very comfortable. Fair both Friday and Saturday. 24 followed by 25, so the next 2 days look good. Our average high is 22, so you can see we're above seasonal and staying that way at least for the next 6, maybe of 7 days. Sunday into Monday, Tuesday, we'll see increasing cloudiness. Temperatures still averaging around 25. Rain, a possibility on a cloudy Monday and Tuesday, about a 30% chance of that, 30% chance of that on Wednesday, and a 60% chance of showers on Thursday. We need the rains, though.
Okay, sounds good. Finally tonight, like hockey, maple syrup, and Celine Dion, bagged milk is a Canadian icon. But while most of us just toss the empty bags away, one group in the nation's capital is giving them a whole new purpose. CTV's Caitlin Wilson has more.
On a Tuesday night in Greeley, the church pews are empty, but the back room is full of volunteers woven together by purpose.
You can see over here where they're all doing it's just over and under, back and forth, one end to the other.
Turning milk bags, a lot of milk bags, into something that can make a real difference.
It is just providing a little bit of comfort, one bag at a time.
Comfort that comes in the form of sleeping mats, a lifeline for those without a bed to call their own.
There's a lot of people in the city sleeping rough, especially with it being summer. The shelters are over capacity, so people will be sleeping outside, and they'll use these mats instead of sleeping just on the bare ground.
It takes teamwork.
This is where it starts. The bags are flattened. There's 3 simple cuts done, so the bottom is cut off.
Then they're looped together before the weaving begins. And it takes about 450 milk bags to make just one mat. Since the initiative began 3 years ago, more than 430 mats have been woven, plus around 400 portable sitting pads.
It's the fact that we're helping people, and it's also helping the environment as well. It's multifaceted.
And that's no small feat. The group partners with Earth Hub, a local environmental group that collects the bags, diverting more than 460,000 from the landfill since 2019.
The interesting thing about milk bags is they actually have the recycling symbol on them, but milk bags are not accepted in the blue bin in Ottawa. So therefore, they would have to go to the landfill. So we're trying to reuse them first before they end up there.
A labor of love woven into every mat, transforming plastic pollution into compassion and comfort.
As long as there's a need, we're not stopping. And everybody here will tell you the same thing.
Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
I wonder how many they've done since I believe they started in 2019. A great initiative, something that can start in any city.
Yeah, across the country, there is a need for something like that. That's wonderful to see, and obviously environmentally
yes,
friendly.
Huge impact there. Okay, on behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Join Sanjay Maru for your only late local newscast tonight at 11.
Good night.